Final week of the regular season, 2 games on Thursday and Saturday. Monterey comes into town on Thursday. Before we kind of talk about the final game, let's talk Monterey, and what have you seen from them this year?
You know, Monterey's done a good job. They've had a good home stretch where playing at their facility is difficult. It's on grass, it's a little bit colder, it's a little bit softer. So I think the teams have struggled there, and especially because they defend really well, and they have a really good goalkeeper, who played at St. Mary's for a little while and then transferred and was their assistant last year and found eligibility, and now she's their starting goalkeeper. So, an interesting situation there, but they have a good goalkeeper, and that makes it difficult to win games. So we're going to need to go out and press them and make it difficult for them to play, and not allow them to get around our half, because they've got a couple players that could be dangerous, but overall they're just a really, really hard-working team, and that makes it tough for them, or tough for us to play against them, or anybody to play against them for that matter. And then East Bay, similar, but really well organized, well coached. A couple pieces that are good, but for the most part, just really hard-working kids that are going to go out there and put a good effort in. And because they're organized and they play in a 3-back with 5 in the midfield, that'll possess a little bit of a tactical situation for us. But again, nothing that we haven't seen before, so we should be all right.
How many seniors?
6.
6 seniors that you'll be saying goodbye to after Saturday. Obviously, senior day, especially, no matter how the season went, it all wraps up for the seniors. They know that's it. What makes it special?
Senior day is always special, right? And I think that what's cool about this group and what's special about this group is that this is a group that's been here 4 years all the way through. Last year was kind of the first recruiting class that graduated, but this is the first large recruiting class that we brought in. And so you look at the growth that this program's had, all the wins that we've had compared to the previous 4 years, the previous 6, 8, 10 years even. You start adding things up, and this group with 2 wins this weekend could be one of, if not the most successful stretch of four years that there's been. So this group has sacrificed, they've given up a lot for the betterment of this program now, but also in the future. And I think that that's a real credit to them. They're really selfless, and when we asked them, hey, we're not going to drink during the season, and we're not going to do these things that historically had been allowed, they were the ones that really jumped on board right away and said, yeah, we want to be successful. We know that it may not happen right away, but we want to be a part of the group that starts it. And so, for years to come, any success that we have is going to be because of what these players have done.
For the coaching, obviously you guys won't be in the conference tournament. I mean, that's it. But still, do you look at this season as a successful one, or do you feel, man, it'd been nice to, go to the next step?
Yeah, I think it's one that you can look at in a couple different ways, right? And if you judge a fish by how it climbs a tree, then it's not a very good fish. So I think that we have to be very realistic in what we're talking about. And I think that as we came into the season, we knew we were going to be on the road a ton, and we said, hey, if we can get to 5 or 6 wins, that'll be really good. Now, if on the flip side, we stand where we are right now and we realize how good we actually have been and how much we've struggled through things and got through things and had the ability to win games, and we just didn't. And that's where we have to be really clear about what lens we're going to look at things from, because this group now has changed into a playing style that is sustainable. This is a playing style we can recruit to. It's a playing style players want to play in, and it's something that we couldn't do before, right? So we came into this year going, okay, we're going to take some hits because of it, but did we think we'd be good? Yeah, we thought we'd be pretty good. Do we think we'd be as good as we are? Maybe not. And so that's where I think that we'll look back, and these players will look back and be like, what could have been? And that's a scary thing to do. I think that it's always important to look forward, and that's what these kids have done a really good job of, is recognizing the growth that they've had, the ability to play the game properly, possess the game, and play an attractive style of football. And so it goes back to what I jokingly said, like, you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. Well, if you judge our season by the ability of what we're doing, then I think that we've done very well. If you look at the scorebook, maybe it's a little bit different, but the things that we set out to do in terms of the growth of this program and what we wanted to do, we've done.
When you lose 6 seniors, obviously I could write you out a check and say, go get the players, but the check's going to bounce.
Yeah, the check is going to bounce.
My money's in it. Not a lot of it, but what will be key for you? Is it players that are coming up? Do you feel like that can, make an impact? Do you feel like that it's going to have to take a huge recruiting class. What do you feel like needs to be done, moving forward?
We've got a good group coming in. We were lucky enough that a bunch of them were on campus in the last couple weeks, and we've had some good players around, and we have girls verbally committed that we're really excited about. And I think that again, when you get into that game of, okay, well, we lost A, so we need to replace A, it's a slippery slope. So we have to be really careful and make sure that we go, okay, well, yes, we're losing, say, a left back in Maddie Barnett, right, who's fantastic, played almost every single second of her college career since day one. Okay, well, we're not going to get another Maddie Barnett, right? So we need to get a player that fits into our system that can be successful and do some of the things that she did, but maybe somebody that has other strengths, right? So we can't try to replace it player for player, person for person, because that's not fair to the players leaving, and it's not fair and realistic to the players that are coming in. We need to bring in players that fit the system, and we're really excited about the group coming in, and we're really excited about the players returning. We've got a really solid group in the midfield returning, and that's been the strength really all year, and they're young. We've got another couple of years of those players. We're going to have to sort some things out up top. We have some really talented young forwards that are now going to get chances through the spring, and it's going to be exciting to see what they do. So I think we're actually in a really good spot despite what we're losing. Don't get me wrong, we're losing some really special people, some really, really special people, and we're going to miss them. But we have the opportunity to still grow, which is nice.
Last question, kind of off topic, but you guys have done a lot with youth, the schools, and obviously those youth players are the future, and hopefully maybe their future lumberjacks when the time comes. But how important is it for you guys to reach out and kind of get soccer out there? Importance to the youth.
It's the youth in general, but really when you look at the community at large, right? I think that we've been very, very blessed and very fortunate, to go and do things in Crescent City, and do things in Eureka, and do things in Fortuna, and do things here in Arcadia and McKinleyville. And one of the things that's been really fun since I've been here is recruiting young women to play here that want to go and impact people's lives. And so, we looked at it going into the game this last weekend, right, where we were playing a Division III opponent that hadn't been very good historically. We felt pretty good about the game, and yet we needed to go out in there and put a good performance in, right, because we had a group of under 13, under 12 players that were going to walk out there with us during the pregame. They had come out and watched our practice earlier in the week, and our girls were interacting with them, and our girls really enjoy that. And a big part of the motivation, with the Santa Cruz game was, we want to win the game. But we told them really clearly, make sure you go into it properly, because these young women are out there the same way that when you fell in love with the game and you started using names like Alex Morgan and Mia Hamm and Abby Wambach, and you're like, oh, this is who I am when you're playing in the backyard. Those young women in this community now are using our players' names in the same way. And we get phone calls and we get emails, and it's really fun to see that, because it shows what the impact is doing, right? So now we're fostering the love of the game, and then for our girls to go out and put a performance in, and then stay and sign autographs, and want to spend time with those young girls and take pictures with them after games, and be the heroes for them and be role models for them. When we talk about success, and we talk about growth and development, and we talk about young people and what are we really doing here, that's what we're doing, right? Is if your motivation is, you want to win games, but you want to win games because that allows you to affect the young people in your community that much better, that's what we're doing. And that's what this program's been about since day one, and it's exciting to have this group right now and the groups that we've had in the past, and it just continues to grow. And the more they can get out there, the better it is for the young people, right, to have good role models, but also for this sport in this county to grow. I mean, soccer should be massive here, and it continues to grow, and anything that we can do to be part of that, we want to do.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.